Hello everyone. Today we step onto the battlefield to master modern tactical armor combat. In this video we are analyzing the mechanics of field engagements, specifically focusing on how to maximize your critical damage output. This is how you transform average tanks into unstoppable killing machines. Let's begin. First up, we have the newest addition to the tank meta, Jackson Hayes, also known as Haymaker. He is a specialized powerhouse designed specifically for tank combat, field engagements, and pure tactical attacks. If you are looking for a game-changing commander to lead your armor into battle, this is the man you need. Now, let's break down his first skill, Cross-Domain Strike. This is an active tactical skill with an 8-second preparation time. At level 5, it unleashes a massive blow, dealing a heavy skill damage coefficient of 1800 to the enemy. But here's where it gets really interesting. If Haymaker is commanding a tank or a helicopter troop, this skill also boosts your troop's damage intensity by 15% for 8 full seconds. This means right after unleashing that heavy 1800 strike, all of your tank's follow-up attacks will hit significantly harder. For a free-to-play officer, having this level of burst damage combined with a sustained offensive buff is absolutely insane. Next up, we have his second skill, Shaped Charge. This is a passive skill, and it is a massive debuff for any enemy you lock eyes with. At level 5, whenever Haymaker's tank or helicopter attacks an enemy ground troop, it automatically inflicts the breach status on them. This status lasts for 4 seconds, shredding the enemy's damage resistance by a staggering 25%. But here is the absolute kicker. This ability can trigger once every 2 seconds. Because the debuff lasts for 4 seconds and triggers every 2, you can easily maintain a near 100% uptime on this armor shredding effect. This makes your target completely vulnerable, allowing both you and your allies to melt their health pools in record time. Now, let's look at his third skill, Adaptive Sight. This is another passive skill that is absolute gold for high mobility armor setups. At level 5, and as long as Haymaker is commanding a tank or helicopter troop, it grants a flat 20% boost to your normal attack critical strike rate. But the secondary effect is where the real magic happens. Every single time your troop dodges an enemy attack, it boosts your firepower by 15% for 8 seconds. And the absolute best part? This effect stacks up to 5 times. If you manage to maximize those stacks in battle, you are looking at a staggering 75% increase in pure firepower. This makes Haymaker incredibly lethal when paired with fast units like light tanks or helicopters, turning defensive evasions into pure offensive devastation. Next up, we have his fourth skill, Custom Warhead. This is a passive skill categorized as balanced, and it is as reliable as they come. At level 5, it grants your troop a flat 12.5% boost to damage intensity, and another 12.5% boost to damage resistance. What makes this skill so good is its simplicity. There are no special triggers or conditions needed. It is a permanent, dual-purpose buff that simultaneously sharpens your offensive bite and thickens your armor. For a free-to-play commander, this makes Haymaker incredibly consistent, keeping your tanks firing harder and standing longer in the heat of battle. Finally, and we have his awakened skill, Trajectory Triage. And let me tell you, this is the ultimate piece of the puzzle that ties his entire kit together. First, if Haymaker is commanding a tank hunter or a helicopter, it grants a flat, permanent 15% boost to your dodge chance. But here's the real game changer. Upon entering combat, your tank or helicopter troop receives a massive 35% dodge chance buff for 12 seconds, which gradually decreases over time. Now, remember his third skill, Adaptive Sight? The one that stacks 15% firepower every single time you dodge? This awakening completely breaks that mechanic, because a 35% dodge buff at the start of combat practically guarantees you will hit maximum stacks almost instantly. It turns Haymaker from a highly consistent defender into a dodging, firepower stacking monster right from the very first second of the battle. Now, let's move on to our second officer, and the absolute best partner to pair with Haymaker. Please welcome Ye Qiming, also known as Rapier. Just like Haymaker, he is a dedicated powerhouse designed for tank combat, field operations, and aggressive tactical attacks. When you pair these two commanders together, they create the ultimate free-to-play tank duo, designed to dominate the battlefield and shred enemy armor with ease. Now, let's take a look at Rapier's first skill, Show of Force. This is his active tactical skill, and at level 5, it is an absolute powerhouse. First, it has an 8-second preparation time, dealing a massive 1500 skill damage coefficient directly to your target. But here's where the synergy with Haymaker starts to shine. If Rapier is commanding a tank or a helicopter troop, this skill also increases your normal attack critical strike rate by a massive 20% for 8 full seconds. Remember, Haymaker already grants a flat 20% critical strike rate with his third skill. When you combine these two, you are looking at a constant 40% chance to land devastating critical hits on the enemy. Because the buff lasts for 8 seconds, and the preparation time is also 8 seconds, you can achieve near-perfect uptime on this massive crit cycle. Next up, we have his second skill, Tactical Mobility. This is a passive offense skill, and it is a pure damage-boosting powerhouse. At level 5, it grants your commanded tanks and helicopters a flat 30% boost to their firepower. But here is the real kicker. If Rapier is commanding a light tank troop, this skill adds an extra 20% firepower on top of that. You are looking at a staggering 50% firepower increase just from a single passive skill. This makes Rapier the absolute king of light tank setups, allowing your fast-moving armor to shred through enemy lines like butter. Now onto his third skill, Meld into Shadows. This is a special passive skill that takes your troops' sustained damage to a whole new level. At level 5, it grants your commanded troop a flat 15% boost to their normal attack damage. But here is the absolute best part. It also adds another permanent 20% to your normal attack critical strike rate. Let's do some quick math here. Remember, Haymaker's third skill gives you 20% crit rate, and Rapier's active skill adds another 20%. Now, with this passive skill active, you are adding yet another 20%. That means when all buffs are running, your tanks have a staggering 60% chance to land critical hits. For a free-to-play setup, this is an unprecedented amount of critical strike synergy, allowing you to absolutely tear through enemy armor. Next up, we have his fourth skill, Animosity. This is a passive offense skill that absolutely thrives on critical strikes. At level 5, whenever your troop lands a critical strike, it increases your damage intensity by 5% for 8 seconds. And yes, this effect stacks up to 5 times. That is a massive 25% boost to your overall damage intensity. But wait, it gets even crazier. Once you hit maximum stacks, landing another critical strike triggers an extra burst of skill damage with a 400 damage coefficient, which can trigger once every 4 seconds. Remember, we just calculated that this duo reaches a staggering 60% critical strike rate. This means you will hit those maximum stacks almost instantly and constantly trigger that extra 400 damage burst, turning your tanks into continuous burst damage machines. Finally, we have his awakened skill. Unsheathe the Rapier. This is the ultimate upgrade because it directly enhances his 4th skill, Animosity, and completely unlocks his true damage potential. You see, under normal conditions, Animosity only gives you that 25% damage intensity boost. But once you awaken Rapier, you unlock the Awakened effect. This is what actually triggers that extra 400 skill damage burst every 4 seconds at maximum stacks. With our duo reaching a 60% critical strike rate, this awakening is not just a luxury, it is the core engine that transforms Rapier from a simple buff provider into a relentless armor-melting DPS monster.